Hello everyone, मेरा प्यारा बच्चा लोग कैसे हैं आप सब? I think you all are here after enjoying an amazing weekend, right? Okay, learning a lot and having some fun also at the same time. Now tell me, are you all here after your weekend saving some energy for learning the ray optics chapter? If it's a yes, we are going to do amazing things in this chapter and we are going to learn lot many things in this particular session. So yes, this is Ameer, your physics educator at Unacademy, and if you all can see me and hear me, पता है आपको, है ना? What you all have to give me an amazing thumbs up in the chat box and let me look into it. जल्दी से जल्दी everyone. Let me see how much energy you all have stored for this particular class. Hi Gunjan, hi Nishan, hi Sankamitra, hi Hari. कैसे हैं आप सब लोग? Are you all having a smile on your faces? Which tells that, sir, we all are super happy. Hi, Mr. Indian Inventor. Wow. अरे क्या क्या नाम लिखा है आप लोग? Oh, I'm really sorry. एक minute. Okay. Thank you so much. ये था. I forgot to keep the mic on me. ठीक है, कर दिया. है ना? क्या क्या कर रहा है? Hi sir, nice to see you. Weekend अडिचो बोलचो. हाँ, थोड़ा. It was a fun. Now I hope you all can listen to me, right? My mic was actually there, which I forgot, right? So anyway, I hope you all know what is the topic for today's session, which is given there right in front of you. What is it? Yes, refraction through a prism. So we have completed refraction through a plane surface, refraction through a curved surface, refraction through lens, and here we are to learn about the topic of refraction through a prism, right? So we'll be learning it. Obviously, I want your complete attention. दे सकता है ना आप लोगों को? Yes, I know that you all are going to give me. Who are seeing me for the very first time? Myself, Ameer, I have an experience of more than 3.5 years. BTech from NIT Calicut in mechanical engineering. I thought meant that many students, they are doing so happy in their life. ठीक है? And let me show you the topic for or the schedule for this particular week. On 27th, between today, refraction through prism. Next 2 days we'll be talking about optical instruments, and on Thursday, right, we'll be ending this class. So we won't be having any classes on Wednesday for this particular month. So this is Monday, this is for Tuesday. Okay, no class on Wednesday. Here we have class on Thursday, right? And Friday we don't have class, but we have a class 4 p.m. on this Sunday. It's not a regular class. I know that exams are very close to us, right? So what do you think about not formula revision, the entire chapter of alternating current we are going to revise on this particular Sunday at 4 p.m. How many of you think that this is an amazing idea? How many of you think that? And how many of you are going to be there for learning this topic of AC on Sunday at 4 p.m.? We are going to do amazing, and let's say in a 3 hours or 4 hour class, we'll be completing the entire revision, plus Menti will also be there. Okay, so those who want to learn this chapter as a revision, you can come and learn on with me on this Sunday at 4 p.m. Right? Hi Sujal, hi Sankamitra, hi Karan, hi to everyone. Now, we all know so many amazing educators are already there in Unacademy class 11th and 12th, including me also, right? So if you don't want to miss any of the live classes, if you want to get the notifications for all the live classes, come and join this Telegram channel. The link is given right here. Then, we all are well aware of the new Cbse exam pattern, which means multiple choice question we'll be having, and we'll also be having the assertion reason type question mostly. So if you want to get a very good score, we should be very thorough with this new exam pattern. That's why every week we are having, which means the Unacademy, we together are conducting the live mock test for every week. So you just think of before exam how many weeks are there and how many mock tests you are going to give. Don't you think that you are going to be super confident and super amazing by the time exam appears in front of you? Yes. And more than that, if you get a very good score in this Emerge program, you will be so famous. You will be there in the YouTube channels of Unacademy, on the social media, other social media handles such as Instagram and all. बहुत famous हो जाएगा आप लोग, है ना? And yes, The dates for all these exams are given. So I think every one of you might have written today's physics exam. How was it? Was it good? Was it good? We'll do the revision on Sunday. Okay. Yes, I think today's exam was simple for everyone. Anyway, I'll talk about this Unacademy subscription for next 2 minutes. Then we'll start with our classes. Now, many of you might be having this confusion, sir, why we need to take an Unacademy subscription though everything is available on free in YouTube? I'll explain. Because in the Unacademy platform, we educators will be teaching with a proper schedule, right? It will be going according to the topics, right? According to the syllabus. So everything is going to be in super order and you can keep track of all the topics that you have learned. क्या हो जाएगा फिर? हाँ, the learning process will be super simple, right? And if it is super simple, within the same time duration, you can learn more topics, knowledge बढ़ जाएगा, and your performance is also going to be super great, right? Then, top educators of the country are already there on board with Unacademy platform. Don't you think it will be a great idea to learn with them? Because their practice in this educational field can help you to understand how the exam pattern is going to be. Right? They'll tell you from which all part the questions are going to come. So you just need to practice from that particular part. Right? So this will be a great, amazing opportunity for you to learn from those respective areas and to improve your marks and get a very good score. Don't you think so? Yes. Then study materials will be given to you. Practice test and live test series will make you super confident and will bring the best out from every one of you, and it will help you achieve the dreams, whatever it is there inside your mind, right? And with a smile you can live your entire life. For this you should be going for the plus subscription. And how much will it cost you? It will cost you 1,250 per month. I won't let you give this much of money, है ना? Kyunki Ameer sir is coming with the code of AMB10. Use this and get this 10% of discount, which is your right. Don't forget it. Keep it right next to your heart and use it whenever you make the subscription. And those who need बहुत ज़्यादा features, which means along with the features I already have explained with plus subscription, with Iconic we'll be having some more extra features such as personal mentor will be given. Matlab, a person will be assigned to you. He'll be telling you what to study, when to study, what are the strategy you should be keeping so that you can get a very good mark. This person will be there. Live doubt solving classes. We teachers will come live and solve all your doubts. Weekly report. These kind of amazing features you will get with Iconic subscription. And for 12 months subscription, if you're going, it will cost you 2,333 per month. And I know that what you all are asking, sir, we want the discount. Ameer sir is there, discount is there. Use this code of AMB10 and get 10% of discount. So don't forget, okay? And I think this is the best time to make a subscription, because if you take 12-month subscription, extra 4 months will be given, and this is only available till 27th of September. I think today is the last day. So make the subscription and make it happen. Yes, that's it. Now it's time for the physics, the ray optics. Ameer sir is there. All my legends are there on the other side. What do you all say? Shall we start? We will continue with whatever we have left from the part of lens, and then we'll starting with refraction through prism. Myara, mat kijiye, don't talk about food while you come to the classes, hai na? But actually I had my food, so utna to you can't do that to me. So tell me, are you all ready to learn about the ray optics? I can't see that energy. I can't see that energy. Dekh le, I'm here after taking so many classes. If I can have this much of energy, you students, isn't it your responsibility to give extra energy to the class and to the teacher? Thank you so much, Anna. Right? So, yes, sir, ready. Everyone is ready. Everyone is super ready. Okay, so Sanjay Singh is giving so much of love in the classroom. So, bilkul badhiya. Everyone is ready. So, let's start with the classes. Right? Okay. Now, in the last classes, mainly we were talking about lenses, right? The image formation formula 1 by V minus 1 by U is 1 by F. Lens maker's formula to find the focal length 1 by F is equal to N2 by N1 minus 1, 1 by R1 minus 1 by R2. Magnification V by U. right? So we have learned about all these concepts, did so many problems, and combination of lenses also we did, right? What is the net focal length if two lenses are combined? याद है? हाँ, बोल दे. 1 by f is equal to 1 by f1 plus 1 by f2. So all these are done. Now some two topics are left from this part of lens. We will first complete that, then we will be starting with the refraction through a prism. Everyone here, right? शुरू कर सकता है ना? With full of energy, with your permission. देखिए, we all know that if you are having a lens like this, light rays will be passing and it will be converging, right? Okay. Now this is not the case. As you can see over here on your topic, I am going to silver this part. Silvering means this part will be converted as a mirror. Understood what is happening? One part of the lens I am going to mirror, color kar raha hai main. Okay, so I am going to silver that. Silvering means we are going to convert the surface as a mirror. Let's see what is going to happen, how the image formation takes place, what happened to the light rays. All these are questions from you, right? Let's solve it. So we have our principal axis. Okay, let me take a light ray, a parallel light ray. It reaches here. What will happen here? It will be undergoing the refraction. Refraction bending towards a normal SA. Yes or a no? Yes. So here we have the light ray after the refraction from the first surface reaching the second surface. Is it going to pass through the second surface? No. We have silvered. मतलब this will be acting like a mirror. Mirror तो क्या हो जाएगा? हाँ, angle I is equal to angle of R. It will be undergoing reflection. This is the reflected light ray and it will be reaching the third surface. What will happen here again? It will be again undergoing deviation and a final image will be formed here after refraction at the third surface, right? This is the final image and we have the object and this is the case happening. Tell me, what is this combination acting like? A light ray is passing towards the right and finally it is getting reflected and forming here. What is it acting like? Is it showing the property of a lens, right? Or is it showing the property of a mirror? The entire light ray, tell me. Is it acting like a mirror or a lens? I'll be looking into the chat box. I think that will be good. Happy birthday. मेरा birthday तो बिल्कुल नहीं है आज. It is reflected back. Yes, very good. It's reflected back. So this entire combination of silvering of lens will be acting like what? It will be acting like a mirror. Yes or no? Very good, very good. This is amazing. So if it is acting like a mirror, if I want to find out V value, what is V value? The image distance, which formula should I be using? The mirror formula or the lens formula? Yes, bilkul, you said it. We have to use the mirror formula. 1 by V plus 1 by U is equal to 1 by F. This is it. Bas. Okay. U is the object distance. V is the image distance which we want to find out. लेकिन here एक unknown है. Unknown क्या है? The net focal length of this combination. वो तो हमको पता नहीं, पता करना चाहिए. If you all are ready, we can do. ठीक है, देख ले. For finding out the net focal length of the combination, we are going to write the equation of total power. Okay, the total power of this entire combination of lens and mirror. What is happening? First, it undergoes the refraction at this surface of lens. Yes. So the total power is equal to, first it is undergoing the refraction at the lens, right? So power of the lens plus we are going to find out the total power of this entire combination plus. Then what is happening? That is undergoing reflection at this mirror. So that will add the power of the mirror plus. Then again you can see that this reflected light ray ऐसे जाते जाते undergo the refraction here third time, which means that will add the power of the lens again. So total power हो गया, 2 times refraction happens at the lens, so 2 times the power of lens plus power of the mirror. This is the equation for total power. Okay, but this is not what we need for finding out V. What we need? We want to find focal length. Focal length kaise milega? How will we get focal length here in this case? From the equation of power, we need to derive the formula for focal length. We know that it is 1 by focal length. But before using that, before using this, right, we need to be knowing some of the concepts related during the conversion of power to focal length. देख ले, अच्छे से देख ले, सुन ले, right? Before converting power to focal length, what is a simple rule? After me explaining this, don't ask me, sir, why we have applied that. So we have the convex lens, right? This is not silvered, okay? A simple convex lens. If we are having parallel light rays, what will happen? It will converge the light rays. Light rays are converged by what? Convex lens. Okay, and what is the focal length of this convex lens? Positive. Okay, just remember this. Convex lens, light is converged, focus is positive. Similarly, if we are having a concave mirror, we have light rays. The light rays are converged here. Light rays are converged here, right? Here also light rays are converged, है ना? And here the focal length is what? Negative, right? But this will be a problem here. What is a problem that this negative focal length can cause? Because here we are having a convex lens where the light rays are getting converged, right? So coming back, you can write power of the lens is equal to 1 by focal length of the lens. This is going to be positive. Yes. After it passes through the convex lens, coming back to the first figure, what is happening? It is dealing with this concave mirror which is also converging, right? Which means the net light rays are converged by the convex lens and it is again converged by this concave mirror. But if we expand in the equation of power as 1 by power is equal to 1 by focal length of the mirror, what is the sign of the mirror going to be? What is the focal length? The sign of the focal length of the mirror going to be negative हो जाएगा, है ना? Negative, because here we have a concave mirror. Focal length negative हो जाएगा. So if it becomes negative, what happened to the net power? Net power is decreasing. It will get decreased. But here you know that what? What is it? The power is actually getting increased. Why? How do we know that power is actually getting increased? We have a convex lens which is converging and concave mirror is also converging. So the power, once they are combined, should be increasing because both are converging the light rays. But here this negative sign will make it to decrease the power, which is not possible. So what will we do? So during the time of consideration of silvering of lens, while finding out the net focal length, right, to remove this negative sign, what will we do? Whenever we write power of the mirror, it is equal to 1 by focal length of the mirror with a negative sign. Okay, why? Because the already existing negative sign of this concave mirror will be cancelled by this extra negative sign we offer, and together the power will get added up. Understood? So the net equation for the power is equal to, writing it once again, 2 by focal length of the lens, ठीक है, and this minus 1 by focal length of the mirror. This negative will cancel the already existing negative from the focal length of the mirror, which will help the power to get added up. Q, why the powers has to be added up? Because, yes, because both are actually converging the light rays. Both are doing the same job, which means the power is actually increasing once they are being combined. Is it clear till this? Is it clear till this? Everyone? अरे, it is not my birthday. अरे क्या क्या हो रहा है इधर in the chat box? Hi Priya, hi Myara. Okay, it is not at all my birthday. ठीक है, अभी इधर सुन ले. Listen to me regarding this silvering of lens. right? We have to do this in an amazing way. Okay, fine, good. Now this is the equation, right, which means 2 by focal length of the lens minus 1 by focal length of the mirror. Now we already know that the combination is going to be acting like a mirror. So the net power will also be acting like a mirror. So the net power of the mirror is equal to 1 by focal length with a negative. I hope you understood. Same concept. Whenever you write the power of a mirror, right, you will be writing with negative of the focal length. The combination is also acting like a mirror. So power is equal to the total power of the entire combination will also be equal to minus 1 by focal length of that. That's it. This is the right formula, which is the super important formula if you all are planning to appear for JEE and NEET. Okay, by heart ho jayega? Will you all be by hearting this? Pakka? Huh? Now by finding out this focal length, applied here, you will get the value for V. Bas. Okay, कर सकता है ना? Please note it down, and this is very important. So हम क्या करने जा रहे हैं? We're going to do a question. Okay, those who want to have a look at it once again. Jaldi se jaldi. 1 by V plus 1 by U is 1 by F, because this is acting like a mirror. How to find out focal length? Minus 1 by F is equal to 2 by focal length of the lens minus 1 by focal length of the mirror. Bus. Okay, moving on. Let us do a question so that you will understand everything whatever we have told till now. So here we are having a convex lens. This part is silvered. A radius of curvature, let's say 30 centimeters. Fine. An object is kept at 15 centimeters, and the refractive index is equal to 1.5. Formula for the question: where is the object formed? Formula which we have to use for finding out the image is equal to 1 by V plus 1 by U is equal to 1 by F. 1 by V minus the object distance we have to measure towards left. What is its magnitude? 1 by 15 is equal to 1 by F. ठीक है. What is the unknown here? The unknown is the focal length, which we need to find out by which formula? Minus 1 by F is equal to 2 by focal length of the lens minus 1 by focal length of the mirror. Focal length of the mirror is not a big task for any one of you to find out, because radius of curvature of both the surface are 30 and focal length is equal to R by 2. 30 by 2, it is a concave, so with a negative sign. Minus 15 centimeter. ये तो हो गया. It's not a big deal. Focal length of the lens is what you have to find out. Formula याद है? Which is the formula to find focal length of a lens? Yes. Lens maker's formula: N2 by N1 minus 1, 1 by R1 minus 1 by R2. Bas. Tell me what is N2? Refractive index of the second medium, 1.5. N1, first medium, 1 minus 1. First surface, what is the radius? It is measured towards right, plus 30. 1 by 30 minus. Second surface, and in which direction you have to measure the radius? In this direction, R2. So it is minus 30. Understood? Because we have to measure in the opposite direction. We all are clear about this in the previous classes. So one more negative. Find this. 1 by focal length of the lens is equal to 1.5 minus 1 is 0.5 or 1 by 2. Okay. 1 by 30 plus 1 by 30 is 2 by 30. हो गया. Done. So 2 cancel. 1 by focal length of the lens is equal to how much? 30. Now start substituting. Minus 1 by F is equal to 2 into 1 by FL is equal to 1 by FL is equal to 1 by 30 minus where is for mirror is equal to minus 15 1 by minus 15 bus. So this is 2 by 30 plus multiplied by 2, so 2 by 30, so this is 4 by 30 minus 1 by f, okay, or 1 by f is equal to minus 4 by 30. Okay, I am not going to write as a separate stuff. कोई गड़बड़ नहीं है ना? Then where we have to substitute, wherever we need to find the value for v, कर ले 1 by v minus 1 by u is 15 is equal to 1 by f minus 1 by f is 4 by 30, 1 by f is equal to minus 4 by 30, कर ले 1 by v is equal to minus 4 by 30, this will go to the right as plus 1 by 15, multiplying it with 2 so that we will have a common denominator of 30. 2 minus 4 is equal to minus 2 by 30 is 1 by v, and v is equal to 30 by 2 minus 15, which means wherever the object is, there itself we will have the image, right? देख ले, v is equal to minus 15, where the object was at minus 15. So the image will be formed on the object itself. I just did this problem that you can understand this concept. So clear है ना ये? Clear हो गया ये? Which means the concept of silvering of lens, wasn't this a very good topic? अच्छे से समझ में आ गया? हाँ बिल्कुल सर, हाँ सर बिल्कुल अच्छे से समझ में आ गया, बोल दे. Yes, Deepika, Priya, Miara. Okay. Yes, very good, very good, very good. Now, what we are going to do is the very last part, 5 minutes class of cutting off lens, and then we'll be moving with refraction on prisms. Yes, Deepika, yes, Sudeep. Very good, badhiya, badhiya, badhiya. Okay, very good. Yes, Priya, that's a correct answer. Okay, now let's see what happened to the focal length once you cut lenses in different scenarios. First, let me write the equation for the focal length. Formula n2 by n1 minus 1, 1 by r1 minus 1 by r2. Yes or no? Yes. Now, here you have a given convex lens, right? Let me tell you, everything we are learning on the basis of convex lens, ठीक है? Don't think that is applicable only to convex lens. The easier way to make the studies is on convex lens. That's why we are taking convex lens most of the time. Okay, very good. Now, let us take a convex lens of focal length f and power p, and let me first cut this in this direction. So, if you cut this lens in this direction, what happens? You will get two lenses like this. Yes or no? Will anything be happening to the focal length of this particular lens? Formula n2 by n1. Material is still the same, n2 and n1. Yes. 1 by r1. This is the first radius, same. Second radius, same. So once you cut in which direction? In the horizontal direction, focal length remains the same. Yes. Will there be any changes? Yes, there will be changes in the intensity of image formed. How? If you take this convex lens, let's say 4 light rays are coming, and how many light rays will be converging to form the image? 4 light rays. Once you cut this, how many light rays will be passing? Only 2 light rays will be forming image. Number of light rays decreases, so what will be decreasing? Yes, intensity, the brightness of the image formed will be decreasing, and that's what happens once you cut the mirror in the horizontal fashion. बस ठीक है, understood, बहुत बढ़िया. इसमें कोई गड़बड़ नहीं है ना? अच्छे से. Now let's see what happens once you cut ऐसे in the vertical direction. If you cut vertically if you cut, what will happen to the lens? देख ले. Once you cut, what will be the lens be looking like? The lens be looking like this. The first surface is with the R1 and the second surface R2 will now be equal to how much? What will be the radius of a planar surface? वो हो जाएगा 0, है या नहीं? So if we try to find the focal length now, 1 by f dash, कितना हो जाएगा? n2 by n1 minus 1, 1 by r1. Let's say r1 and r2 are equal. R1 and r2 are equal to r. Okay, so 1 by r minus 1 by, अरे 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 अरे, मैं क्यों ऐसे किया? मैं ऐसा क्यों हूँ? Anybody corrected me? Anyone corrected me once I written this? अरे R2 is equal to infinity है ना? हाँ, Anna, thank you so much. Anna is the only person. So in the flow I just have written R2 is equal to 0. Nobody corrected me, Anna. Tell me. हाँ, in the flow I just have written and you are like, हाँ, Ameer sir ऐसे बोल दिया, I will be copying ऐसे. Observe the things. So R2 is infinity. So 1 by R1 which is R minus 1 by R2 is infinity. So वो 0 हो जाएगा. This is n2 by n1 minus 1 by R. Also find out the initial focal length. How much it will be? The initial focal length is n2 by n1 minus 1. Okay, 1 by r1 is r minus 1 by r2. देख ले, this is the second surface. If there was complete lens, we are writing the focal length. How it is measured? Towards left. So r2 will be equal to minus r. So how much will this be? 1 by f is equal to n2 by n1 minus 1, 2 by r. Right? The initial focal length was this. 1 by f is equal to n2 by n1 minus 1, 2 by r. Yes or no? So 1 by 2f is equal to n2 by n1 minus 1, 1 by r. है या नहीं? If I take this 2 to the left hand side of an equation. है ना? हाँ, तो वही लिख ले. n2 by n1 minus 1, 1 by r is equal to 1 by 2f. So 1 by f dash is equal to 1 by 2f. बस मतलब taking it ऊपर f dash हो गया 2f. मतलब once you cut the lens vertically, the focal length will be double हो जाएगा. We usually think that focal length कम हो जाएगा. नहीं, it is going to be doubled. ठीक है? Yes. Yes, Priya. Yes, Myara. Okay, so जोश कैसे है? I think जोश is very low. कहाँ गए हमारा पूरा legends लोग? Everyone is sleeping, it seems. Okay, whoever is asleep doesn't matter. Whoever is here, we will learn this topic together, Anna. Yes, we have to learn this ray optics, and after ray optics, we are going to start with the current electricity next week. ठीक है? Okay, so yes, शुरू करें refraction through a prism. We want the complete attention. Then only we can learn with this. Then only we can understand the concepts. Okay, Ritu is going to sleep. It's bad. Okay, yes. Let's learn the refraction through a prism. Okay, देख ले. We have learned the refraction through so many kinds of surfaces. We started with a plane surface. Initial days, 1 week before. Yes. Then we have learned refraction through a curved surface. Then we have seen refraction through lenses, which is the combination of refraction at two curved surfaces. We have completed till here. Now what is left? The very last refraction where आपका साथ है एक prism. Okay, this prism is what you are having, and we are going to observe what happens when a light ray passes through it. Right? How much is the deviation the light ray will be having once it passes through a prism? All these things we are going to observe here. अच्छे से सुन ले, a question is gonna pop up from this part of prism. That's a sure shot. Okay, देख ले. You are having a light ray, an incident light ray. ऐसे आ गया. Incident light ray has come here. What will happen? Obviously, let's say this is having a refractive index of n, which is greater than the refractive index of air. Rarer to denser. It will be bending towards a normal. Yes or no? हाँ sir, बिल्कुल. And if I mark this as I am marking this as R1. Okay. This angle will be the angle of incidence at the second surface, right? Yes or no? Yes. So, according to the NCERT book, they are using the letter of R2 here. So, we will be following the same so that you won't be having any confusion. So, this angle is marked as R2, though it is the angle of incidence at the second surface. Light ray moving from denser to rarer, instead of going straight, it will be bending away from the normal, and this angle is the angle of emergence. So, we have marked all the angles I, R1, R2 and E. Let's mark this angle as A, which is the angle of the prism. Okay. So, angle of the prism is the angle formed between two sides wherever the incident light ray and the refracted light ray is being seen. Fine. Okay. Now, what we are going to find out from this part of refraction through a prism, अच्छे से सुन ले, what we are going to find out is, we are going to find out the amount of deviation to the light ray when it passes through the prism. Once again, we are going to find out the total deviation caused to the light ray when it passes through the prism. Okay? Tell me, how was a light ray supposed to go if this prism was not there? सोच कर. This was the incident light ray. It was supposed to go ऐसे. It was supposed to go ऐसे, in that straight line. But because of the presence of this prism, it is making a bending here, again a bending here. So, don't you think the angle between the incident ray and the final emergent ray is the total deviation lambda? Yes or no? Yes, it is. So, the angle between the incident light ray's direction and the final emergent ray, we call it as deviation. That is the total deviation. Tell me, how will you find out this deviation? Array, the deviation is caused by refraction at the first surface plus refraction at the second surface. Hai na? So, whatever is the deviation produced at the first surface plus deviation produced at the second surface will give you the answer for total deviation. Isn't it? Yes or no? बोल दे हाँ sir बिल्कुल. How will you find out the deviation in the first case? If the picture is not visible, इधर देख ले. अच्छे से. This is the normal. This is the incident light ray. Okay? And instead of going straight like this, it is bending where R1 is formed here. What is the deviation? It was supposed to go straight, it made a bending. Isn't this the first deviation, lambda 1? Okay, how will you find lambda 1? देख ले, I was the total angle. I was a total angle. From that, you have to subtract R1. Yes or no? From I, देख ले, for the total angle of I, subtract R1, won't you get lambda 1? Yes, you will get. Plus, what about the deviation at the second surface? If the picture is not that big, I can draw it here. Second surface, right? Light ray comes here. This is our normal. This is what? Emergence. This is R2. Can you tell me how much is the deviation it was supposed to go like this and it has bended till here. So it was supposed to go like this. I'll draw it with a red color. It was supposed to go like this. Now it has bended this much. So isn't this the deviation in the second case? Yes or no? Yes. So if this is R2, this is also R2, right? So how will you get this deviation of lambda 2? From total angle of E, you have to subtract this R2. That will give you lambda 2. Yes or no? Yes or no? Substitute kar le. E minus R2. So how much which this be? I plus E minus of R1 plus R2. Took negative sign outside and written. This is the equation for deviation in a normal prism. Is it clear? It is very, 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 very important, super important, let's say, okay, super important. Mark this, mark everything right now before we proceed. Okay, mastermind, Sanjana, Priya, Myara, Sangarsh, Bhumika, yo. How do you say yo? This way, right? Okay, clear, perfect. So I hope you took a screenshot so that you can note it down, and obviously this will be there available in YouTube all the time, है ना? तो अब हम क्या करने जा रहे हैं? I'll just rub this off so that we can continue. Fine? Okay. In the meanwhile, if you want to copy down anything during the time I'm rubbing, do that, because it will be better for me to explain in the same page instead of taking a second page. Okay, ho gaya. Now, till here is it done, right? Now I want you to consider a quadrilateral. I'll mark A, B, C and D. What is the total angle of a quadrilateral? 360. Which are the angles? Angle A plus angle B. How much is the angle? This is the normal to the surface, so this will be 90 degree, right? So A plus 90 plus, let's say this is angle C, C plus this angle, this is also normal, that is also 90, plus 90 is equal to how much? 360. From here, A plus C is equal to 90, 90 is 180, 360 minus 180, 180. Bus. First equation, symbol ka dimple, है ना? Simple ka dimple, just a use of geometry, that's it. Now I want every one of you to look in triangle BCD. Can you look? This B, this C and D. Which are the angles you can see? Which are the angles you can see? One is R1, right? Then we have R2, right? Plus what you have? The third side, C. Total angle of a triangle, 180. Yes or no? Yes or no? Now try comparing this. Right hand side, 180. C, C. So A should be equal to how much? A should be equal to how much? Just update me in the chat box. Jaldi se. A should be equal to. Who doesn't know how to look into two equations and compare and tell me what A is equal to? A, isn't it equal to R1 plus R2? A, isn't it equal to R1 plus R2? Bilkul. So we got the angle of the prism is equal to the sum of R1 plus R2. Is there any use for this? Yes, we can substitute in the equation for deviation. देख ले. Deviation का final equation I'm going to write here. Deviation is I plus E minus R1 plus R2. R1 plus R2 is equal to A. Note it down. Another super duper ka upar ka important formula. Yes? Fine? Shall we proceed? Proceed कर सकता है? Okay, done. Now, what we are going to do is, can you see this angle of incidence? Yes. Can you see that? Can you see the equation of deviation? Yes, you can see that. Let me write the equation here. Deviation is equal to I plus E minus A. इसका मतलब ये है कि the deviation is totally dependent upon the angle of incidence, right? So, in order to understand how this relation is existing, right, scientists started to make the practical observation for each and every angle of incidence, what is the deviation going to be? And what was the observation? The observation is actually plotted as a graph. Initially, if the incident angle is increased, from this, if you are increasing the angle of incidence to a new value, what it was observed that the deviation was decreasing. So, if they kept on increasing the angle of incidence, the graph was found to be decreasing with deviation till it reaches a minimum value, and after this they found out that if again the angle of incidence is increased, the deviation was increasing after that. Understood? If the angle of incidence is increased, this is a graph obtained from the practical. I think you will all be doing this same practical in your lab also. You can observe the same thing. Initially, by using a small angle of incidence, deviation will be high like this. And if you keep on increasing the angle of incidence, deviation ऐसे नीचे 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 हो जाएगा until it reaches the minimum value of deviation, lambda minimum. And after that, if the angle of incidence is increased, you can also observe the same, that yes, you can see that the deviation will be increasing afterwards. Now, let's see what is the conclusion or the important observations that you can take from this graph. Okay, before that, I'll also drink a छोटू सा पानी. बहुत ड्राई हो गया मेरा. Okay, now I'm back to energy. I hope you are also back. Now, it was observed that taking a deviation, which means taking a minimum deviation, and if the graph is if you try to find out the coordinates which is meeting on the graph, you can see that for a given deviation there are two x coordinates. Can you see? For a given coordinate from the graph, you can see that there are two x coordinates. One will be corresponding to the angle of incidence. It was found out that the other coordinate is actually the angle of emergence. So, for a deviation, there are 2 points on the graph. One point is actually corresponding to angle of incidence and the other one is actually corresponding to emergence. Understood? So, in this case, lambda will be equal to I plus E minus A. Now, just tell me, just सोच कर बता दे, if I take this as the angle of incidence and the other one as angle of emergence, will there be any change in the deviation? Will there be any change in the deviation? According to the graph, there will be no change in the deviation, right? But according to the equation, will there be any change? Nahi. I will be considered as, I is considered as E. E is considered as I. I plus E and E plus I is the same. So, deviation is also the same. So, even if you consider in the vice versa, the deviation is going to be the same from the graph. So, the two coordinates correspond to what? One is the angle of incidence and the other one correspond to angle of emergence. All these are practical values or practical information. Now, what is the speciality of the minimum deviation point? At the minimum deviation points, what is the speciality? At the minimum deviation point, you can only see one coordinate. है ना? One x coordinate only is what you can see. What does it say? Either for a deviation you had two coordinates, one was corresponding to I and the other was corresponding to E, or I to E, whatever it is, right? If here there is only x coordinate, if it is only pointed to one point, what does it mean? It means at the minimum deviation situation, the I value and E value are having the same. Whenever a light ray passes through a prism, whenever it makes a minimum deviation, the value of I and the value of E will be equal. So if you substitute the same in the equation of deviation, how much it will be? As I is equal to E, I plus E, E will be I itself, so that will be 2I minus A. So whenever we are using the equation for minimum deviation, this we have to write lambda minimum, this is 2I minus A. When can we use this? Whenever we are finding out the minimum deviation to the light ray whenever it passes through a prism. समझ में आ गया? And this equation, the general equation for finding out deviation, this minimum deviation, because only at minimum deviation I will be equal to E. If I equal to E, what will be the value for R1 and R2? R1 and R2 को याद है ना? भूल गया क्या R1 and R2? This is I. This is what? R1. This was R2 and this was E. याद है ना? Yes. If I and E are equal, what will R1 and R12 be equal? Don't worry, we'll write the Snell's law and we'll prove it. At the first, writing the Snell's law at the first interface, sin I by sin R1 is equal to N2 is refractive index of the material by refractive index of the atmosphere, which is 1. Done. Writing the Snell's law at the second surface, sine of angle of incidence, what is the angle of incidence here? R2 by sine of angle of refraction, here it is given as E, is equal to refractive index of the second medium, here it is 1, refractive index of the first medium, it is N. If you just inverse E, I can substitute as I. So sin I by sin R2 is equal to N. Now compare. Compare कर ले. Didn't I write till here? हाँ. I, N, R1, R2. If this wants to be an equation, yes, what should be equal? Shouldn't the value of R1 be equal to R2? Yes or no? Shouldn't the value of R1 be equal to R2? Compare the equation 1 and 2. You only tell me. I know that you all will be yelling out, sir, हाँ बिल्कुल R1 का value हाँ हो जाएगा R2 के equal, है ना? Yes. So at the minimum deviation, I will be equal to E, R1 will be equal to R2. Understood? Yes? So shall we proceed in the next page? Shall we proceed? Lambda minimum, writing the same thing, 2I minus A, R1 equal to R2, let me write it is equal to R. हो गया? हाँ? Okay. How many of you do remember? R1 plus R2 is equal to A. First page. I hope I don't want to take the pages back again and show the same to you. पता है R1 plus R2 is equal to A. Right? R1 and R2 are equal. So R1 plus R2 is 2R is equal to A. R हो गया A by 2. R is equal to A by 2. And what is I from here? I. Right? I is equal to A plus lambda min by 2. Any doubt? Rearranging the first equation, I. This R. Now what I'm going to do? Sin I by sin R is equal to N2 by N1. Refractive index of the second medium by refractive index of the first medium. What is I? Sin of A plus lambda minimum by 2 whole by sin of A by 2 is equal to n. बस हो गया है ना. So we got the equation for refractive index also whenever the light ray is undergoing a minimum deviation when it passes through a prism. Formula sin of a plus d by 2 by sin a by 2 बस हो गया. Okay, one small chotu changes also let us make to this. This is the main formula. Okay, this is a formula we can use when minimum deviation case is there. Now we are having the minimum deviation case. Okay, we are going to make this equation again simplest, that's it. If it is minimum deviation and if angle of the prism, what was angle of the prism? ये angle याद है? If the angle was very small, I hope you all have learned, then sine of A will be equal to A approximately. When the angle is very small, sine of A will be equal to A. So in the case of minimum deviation and prism angle small, if you are having a very small prism angle, then sine of A plus lambda min by 2 can be written as what? A plus lambda min by 2 whole divided by sine of A by 2 can be written as what? A by 2 will be equal to how much? Yes, refractive index n है ना. हाँ, 2 cancel कर ले. Then rearrange NA, right? A plus lambda min is equal to NA and A also, or okay, we'll write in 2 steps here. A plus lambda min is NA and the minimum deviation is equal to n minus 1 into A. This when will you use? When the angle of the prism given in the question is very small, let's say lesser than 10 degrees. In that case only we can use the equation for deviation as n minus 1 into A. Else, when the angle of the prism is larger and when we have minimum deviation, we will use this equation. Sine of A plus d minimum by 2 by sine A by 2 is equal to n. Understood? Also we can use this formula, minimum deviation 2i minus A. Then neither of these conditions are satisfied, nor it is minimum deviation, nor it is a small prism angle. Then which formula? The actual formula. This is the general formula for deviation, right? This is the equation for deviation for lambda minimum. This is also for lambda minimum, and this is the equation for lambda minimum and prism angle small. It's very important. Do copy it down. Do copy it down. Sunil Kumar official, why don't someone talk to Sunil Kumar? Is it clear? Is it clear, everyone? Good evening, Ushali. Right now you are joining. Please do watch the replay for the topics which you have missed. Rashi Chauhan, yes. बढ़िया बढ़िया बढ़िया. Side पे ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है. मैं तो side में गया. Okay. I actually vanished also. So you can copy it down. हाँ थोड़ा लेट हो गया. Clear है ना संचना? Yes Miara. Okay. So as everything is clear, and if you have copied it down, questions are waiting for us, I think. We all have done this. Yes. Questions were actually waiting for us. So karega. Shall we? Everyone, ready? Steady. A ray of light is incident at an angle of 60 degree on one face of a prism of angle 30. What all are given? Incident at an angle 60 on one face of a prism of angle 30 degree. Angle of prism. Okay. The emergent ray of light makes an angle of 30 degree with the incident ray. What that is? Who can tell me What does that statement gives you? Those who understood or those who can tell me what that particular statement will tell you, right, is that will tell me that हाँ बिल्कुल आप लोगों को अच्छे से समझ में आ गया ये टॉपिक. Khushali, deviation of, amazing, there it goes, there it goes. The angle between the incident ray and the final emergent ray, that was defined as what? That is defined as deviation. Yes or no? आ गया तो आ गया, समझ तो आ गया. Those who have any confusion देख ले. This is our prism. A light ray is going, it will be undergoing deviation, and this is the final emergent light ray. And this was supposed to be the incident light ray. This is incident light ray's direction. Isn't this the angle between them, which we actually have written as deviation? Yes or no? Yes. So deviation is given as how much? 30 degree. Very good. The angle made by the emergent ray with the second phase of prism. This is emergent ray with the face of the prism. E is not asked. What is asked? Theta is asked. The angle made by the emergent ray with what? With the surface. We don't have a direct equation to find theta, है ना? But what we can do is we can find out the value of E, right? First, let us find out the value for E. From there, we can use trigonometry and use the value for find the value of theta. What the equation? What the equation? Is it a lambda minimum case? Tell me, is it the case of minimum deviation? No, it is a general situation. So formula I plus E minus A. What is this? 30. What is I? I 60. Emergent ray, which we don't know, and the value of A 30. 30, this minus 30 go to the left, 60 cancel. Emergent ray हो गया 0 degree. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by the emergent light ray is 0 degree? If this is the normal, right, angle of emergence is actually measured with the normal. If it is 0, उसका मतलब ये है कि the emergent light ray is passing along the normal, which gives E value as 0. If emergent light ray is normal, ये angle कितना हो जाएगा? The angle made by the emergent light ray with the surface, how much? Kitna simple, right? Kitna simple, kitna simple. If you have substituted everything in the right way, the answer ऐसे मिलेगा, and it is 90 degree. Bas. Emergent ray on the normal. Very good, Khushali. Everyone has given me the answer, most of you. Sudeep, Sonali, Sanchana, Priya. Good. Badhiya baat hai. Badhiya. Amazing. Yes, I do all the most of the derivations, because without derivation there is no point in learning physics. Without derivation, physics is nothing. Mathematics. Are we here to learn mathematics? नहीं, हम तो पढ़ना है physics. So we have to learn concepts. Is it clear? No doubt. Okay. Another question. Let me see who is going to give the answer. कौन दे देगा answer? Who is going to give me the answer for this particular question? Let's see. Okay. One face of a prism with a refractive angle of 90 degree. Prism with a refractive angle means angle of the prism, right? That is another way of telling the same. So this angle is given as 30 degree, is coated with silver, which means this is coated with silver, which means this will be acting like what? A plane mirror. Those who want me to write, this will be acting like a plane mirror. Okay. A ray of light incident on another face here at 45 degree is refracted, will be undergoing the refraction, hai na? If you write, this is the red, It will be undergoing the refraction. It will be undergoing the refraction. Reflected from the silver, obviously this is a mirror, reflected, and it retraces its path. We know that whenever a light ray approaches a mirror, it will be reflected back, but it is retracing the same path. Whatever was the direction of the incident light ray, it is coming back through the same path. Question: what is the refractive index of the prism? ये n का value question है. Before going directly how to find n, what can you tell by looking into the surface regarding this angle? ये angle के बारे में, let's mark it as theta. Who can tell me what that value of theta gonna be? Array, what is the case? If you are having a plane mirror, when will the light ray be retracing? Yes, when it is perpendicular. Yes or no? Yes, we know that. So this theta is going to be how much? 90 degree. 90, 30, ये हो जाएगा how much? Tell me. 90, 30, ये हो जाएगा 60. Yes or no? Total is 90. Here it is 60. How much will this be? 30. Any doubt? No. Sin I we have, sin R we have. Can't we find n? How? How? अरे बोल दो ना जरा. Sin I by sin R is equal to n2 by n1. 1 is our air with the value of 1. Substitute कर ले. What is sin I? Sin 45. 1 by root 2 I am directly substituting. What is sin R? R 30. How much? Sin 30. 1 by 2 is equal to n. 2 by root 2. Root 2. Root 2. Root 2. Root 2 हो गया हमारा आंसर. Clear? अरे देख ले, मैं भी बोल दिया. If you are ready to listen, right, answers are going to be, मतलब बहुत सिंपल हो जाएगा. बहुत 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 मतलब बहुत. आ गया तो आ गया, समझ तो आ गया, है ना? बिल्कुल समझ तो आ गया. बढ़िया 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 बढ़िया. Okay, simple question. So we are going to proceed. Okay. How many of you have seen this? In the previous case, है ना, when we were considering the prism, we were having a light ray, yes or no? But we were only having a single light ray or a single refractive index or a single color was there. Okay, matlab let's say if it is a red color, only the red color was contained in this light ray. Now what we have? Now we have a white light. White light, is it composed only of a single color? It is the combination of 7 different colors. I think I don't need to tell you what that WebGeor is. Violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. So what will you see once you make the white light to pass through a prism? And this is what is observed. An amazing, beautiful stretch of 7 different colors. Or once it passes through the prism, the white light will be converted as, or will be converted into its 7 constituent colors. How is this happening? ये कैसे हो जाता है? Don't we want to know? Yes, isn't it? Let's see. Now, look into this figure. We will use black, I think. Look into this figure. This was supposed to be the direction of the incident light ray, right? Tell me, by looking into this figure itself, which has undergone more deviation? Is it the red color or is it the violet color? Which has undergone more deviation? Is it red this much from the incident light ray or the larger one? इतना सोचने की भी जरूरत नहीं. हाँ, the deviation of the violet is lambda of V is greater than lambda of red. Violet is having a greater deviation. How is this possible? Now you might have understood why the light ray is getting converted into its 7 different constituent colors. because all the 7 different colors are having different deviation. ये कैसे हो सकता है? How is it possible for the light rays to have a different deviations? Do you remember the final equation for the deviation? N minus 1 into A, when the angle of the prism is small. Let's consider the angle of the prism is small, right? So all are having the same prism angle, but the only thing which can be different for all the 7 different colors is N. Let's find out, right? Is that the responsible factors for converting that white into its 7 different colors? N का formula C by V. Yes or no? N का formula क्या आता है? Which is C divided by V. What is C? Velocity of light in vacuum, and V is the velocity of light in the given medium. मतलब here in this particular lens. Fine. How many of you already know this? That velocity is directly proportional to lambda. Lambda मतलब wavelength. अरे ये equation frequency f is equal to c lambda, f lambda is equal to c or v. V matlab velocity, general. So lambda is directly proportional to velocity. Yes or no? Ha. Tell me, who is having a larger wavelength from violet to red? Who is having a larger wavelength? Red is having a larger wavelength compared to violet. If lambda is greater for red, won't its velocity will also be larger in this lens medium? Yes. If the velocity is larger, if the velocity of red is larger, what will be the refractive index of red? Inversely proportional, it will be lesser. If refractive index is lesser, n minus 1 value will be lesser, which makes the deviation of red lesser than the deviation of violet. समझ में आ गया? हाँ? Just by looking into this equation, expanded n, then looked into velocity. Velocity found to be directly proportional to wavelength. Red is having a larger wavelength, which has a larger velocity and lesser refractive index and lesser deviation. छोटू सा concept है ना? Very good. I can see that many of you are giving me the answer. Okay. Good. Amazing. With so much of love from Udab Chandra Saho. Okay, got it. Very good. Amazing. बहुत बढ़िया. Got it, Myara? Okay. So let's proceed. Now what we are going to find out is, what is angular dispersion? क्या Sir, क्या बोला आपने? Angular dispersion. Let's find out what it is. We know that whenever a white light is getting incident at one surface, you'll see that this is violet and this is red, and this was supposed to be the incident light ray. Yes or no? Yes. Now you can see a more deviation to the violet and a lesser deviation to the red. How will you find out all these angle of deviation? This is deviation of the red and this is the deviation of the violet light ray from the incident. What is the formula for deviation? N minus 1. So how will you find out deviation of red? Refractive index of red minus 1 into A. Similarly, how will you find out deviation of violet? NV minus 1 into A. Deviation of red, deviation of violet. This angle hai na? This angle, can you see? This is called as the angle of dispersion. What do you call it? The angle between the red light ray and the final emergent violet light ray is called as angle of what? So how will you find this out? Kaise? Theta is equal to, from total violet angle, total deviation of violet, this may, why don't you subtract this? Angular dispersion to mil jayega, hai na? It is not S, okay? Lambda. What is lambda of violet? NV minus 1 into A minus NR minus 1 into A. Minus A, minus of minus plus A cancel हो जाएगा. This will be NV minus NR into A. This is theta. And what is this? NV minus NR into A क्या हो जाएगा? क्या हो जाएगा? Angular dispersion. What is it? Angular dispersion formula NV minus NR into A. ये क्या है? You should also, we don't just by heart all the formulas and go to exam hall. कोई फायदा नहीं, ठीक है? Let me tell you. So you should be knowing what it is. Angular dispersion is the angle between the emergent red light and the violet light. Good, good, perfect. अच्छे से, हाँ, कोई गड़बड़ नहीं, ठीक है, बढ़िया, बढ़िया, बढ़िया. Now we'll also find one more thing before we leave the class. Omega, which we call it as dispersive power. Omega क्या है? The power of this given prism to disperse the given white light into its constituent colors as violet to red. That is called as dispersive power. The power of this prism, that's it. Formula is ये lambda V minus deviation of violet minus deviation of red divided by mean deviation. Mean deviation means deviation of the light ray which is coming in between the red to violet. So mostly this deviation is taken as the deviation for the yellow color. Mean deviation, the deviation of the light ray which comes in between red to violet, we usually take the deviation of the yellow one because it is having an deviation almost as middle between red to violet, though it is not the exact middle of the 7 different colors. Okay, then what is lambda V minus lambda R, NV minus NR into A? So A cancel. One small, I think you might have told me this, not as lambda Y. Minimum deviation is refractive index of Y, which is yellow. So what happens? This A cancels and omega's final is equal to NV minus NR by NY minus 1. Bas. This is the formula for what? Omega. ये omega क्या है? Omega क्या है? Omega is the dispersive power. The power of this given prism to disperse the given white light into its 7 different colors is what is defined as dispersive power. Formula: angle of dispersion by the mean deviation. That's it. Is it clear? सबको clear है? Yes, Priya, Mohit, everyone. Nobody will forget. Is it a promise? SY minus 1 nahi, NY minus 1. Actually it was SY, the deviation of the yellow, which is written as the refractive index of yellow minus 1 into A. A cancel ho jayega and this is the final formula. Okay. Okay, then we'll do this. Promise? Okay. So let me see how many of you are going to do this. Let's see, is there any other question after this? No. Okay, rest of the concept we'll be discussing in tomorrow's class. But tell me, let this be the last question for the day. White light is incident on face AB of a glass prism. The path of the green component is shown in the figure. If the green light is just totally internal reflected as at face AC as shown, the light emerging from a face AC will contain. Understood? White light is coming. Usually what happens? It will be converted into its 7 different colors and it will be exiting into the initial medium, which is into our air. But here it is shown that the green light is actually undergoing total internal reflection, which means it is reflected back into the same medium. Question is, how many colors you can see that will be crossing the surface AC and will be passing to this medium? That's a question. How many of you can solve this? I'm not going to tell. Rashi says option C, all colors except green. C. Rashi, C, Rashi, Are. Sudeep is B, yellow, orange and red. Maybe C. Sandeep maybe B. Anna is maybe C. Everyone is maybe C, maybe B, maybe B. Which are the colors available in the white light? Violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. When we move from red to violet, what happens? Deviation increases. Yes or no? Which means blue, indigo and violet, which is to the left hand side of green, is having a deviation greater than green. Green itself is having this much of deviation. So those lighter which is having a deviation greater than green, what will happen? हाँ वो ऐसे आ जाएगा. Understood? And what happened to the colors on the right hand side of green? It is having lesser deviation. So if it is having lesser deviation, वो तो इधर ही होता है ना? Which are these three? Yellow, orange and red. उतना ही है. Simple. Simple सा dimple का simple. उतना ही है. Understood? समझ में आ गया सबको? With a smile on your faces. समझ में आ गया तो मजा भी आ जाएगा. हाँ? Now understood why it is not C? Why it's B? Got it. Very good. Amazing. आज के लिए बस है ना? अब आ गया समझ में और क्या? Understood. I think good night बोलने का टाइम आ गया ना? मुझे ऑफिस से रूम भी जाना है. I'll be all alone in the road. पता नहीं आज बूथ को देखेगा या नहीं. देखा तो हाय बोलेगा मैं आपसे आप सबके तरफ से. So done. We'll be continuing in tomorrow's class. Okay. So we are left with some chotu topics from this prism, and then directly we'll be jumping to optical instruments, eyes, compound microscope, simple microscope and telescope in tomorrow's class. So everyone, bye Rashi everyone, and don't leave the classroom. Okay, let me tell you, on this Wednesday, we have class, which means special classes are there on capacitors. Which day? Wednesday at 5 p.m. We have the topic of capacitors, right, which means theory, MC quiz, NCERT problems, and at 6:30 p.m. we are having Lenz's law and Faraday's law from the part of EMI. Okay, so it is at 6:30. Capacitors is at 5. So those who want to revise this, which will be a great idea for everyone because exams are really approaching. So you can come and join for these two courses, right, which is a completely free to special classes happening on Unacademy app. Those who don't know how to enroll for this, download the Unacademy learning app, log into the same, click on the menu button on the left corner, there you will find special. Then search for my classes on Wednesday at 5 p.m. for capacitors and Lenz's law and Faraday's, and they'll be asking you an invite code. What is the invite code you have to give? AMB10. ठीक है, ये use कर ले and get into the class for free. And I hope those who have attended might also be knowing this is very interactive classes, right? In the Unacademy platform, we can have chat boxes, question tab where you can clear your doubts. Live polls will be there, okay, between quizzes, leaderboard will be there. Everything is going to be super amazing. So I'm expecting every one of you. Okay, yes. So yes. Now if you want to make any subscription and if you want 10% of discount, use karna kya? Code use karna hai AMB10, don't forget. And those who haven't liked the session and shown some love towards Ameer sir, jaldi se kar le. Go and click on that like button and do let me know that you are enjoying the classes. And don't forget to subscribe so that you'll get all the notifications. ठीक है? So bye everyone, thank you so much. And signing out from me and from the side of Unacademy. Let's crack it and let's be so amazing in our lives. Bye everyone, take care and good night.